Alright, welcome back everyone, I am Blaze here. In today's video, we're going to talk about why you can't find groups in EverQuest. So this is sparked from a post I just read, Mangler, the worst experience I've had in 20 years. Let's get into it. Let me preface this by saying my opinion matters very little, and I don't post on the forums very frequently. However, I've been playing this game on and off for 20 years now. I've rated with the best on live, rated on TLP, multi-box 6 characters, and had some amazing times. I just recently returned to EverQuest after taking a 2 to 3 year break and decided to join a time-lock progression server that was close to the expansion content I hadn't done before, being Mangler, the Mangler server I actually play on. I want to describe the awfulness that is TLP and the state of them, specifically in regards to TrueBox. So on TrueBox servers, you're only allowed to play one character from one account, from one computer. Mangler being one of those fancy TrueBox servers, I thought it would allow for more of a grouping experience. The short answer of that is it does not. In fact, finding a group can be rather difficult. Realizing this, I tried to reach the end content faster, so I joined a guild and leveled up quickly. Then I spent about 50 hours in a week trying to get a group. And out of 50 hours LFG, I got about 4 hours of group time. Yesterday's expansion released for Prophecy of Ro, and it was completely eye-opening how bad the situation really is. I got on early and started advertising for a group. Then 5 hours later, I was unable to get a group. Members of my own guild either multi-boxed it or had formed groups around me. This morning in POR, I see multi-boxers everywhere. It's obvious what the problem is. The TrueBox servers have a fatal flaw. People are still boxing on them. The best solution would be to limit the amount of boxes that can be run instead of limiting it per computer, especially when people are going to multi-box anyways. In 20 years of playing this game, this is the most miserable experience I've ever had. What should you do if you can't find groups? EverQuest is a game where your experience playing it is going to be highly variable based upon what server you pick. If you go for servers that are a bit older, more established, almost all the player base is going to be at level cap. And a lot of the more established servers, people are only going to do something called raid logging. The vast majority of the population on the server only ever logs on just to go to raids, because they're already at AA cap. They already have as many AAs as they want. They already are at level cap, so what's the point of playing anymore beyond getting top tier gear from raids? So that's a big issue you have when you go on to a later expansion, like Mangler. Mangler is not the youngest server out there, and it's been established for a long time. It is not a server I would start on at all. If I was going to pick live, I would try to go with the youngest servers that exist right now, being Erdune or Rizlona, or wait till the next time lock progression server drops. I would not play on any of the older servers. If you really wanted to guarantee grouping, I would actually go for Project 1999 Green, because it generally has the most healthy leveling population. But if you try to level on any of the older expansion servers, the more established servers, you're going to struggle. So what if you are dead set on playing on one of these older servers? You really got two choices here. One, you got to join a guild. Because I can say this from personal experience, ever since pretty much Lukeland, since the Lukeland expansion on Mangler, I have not been in a single public group. Ever since Lukeland, all the AAs and all the levels that I've earned from Lukeland to the Prophecy of Ro expansion have been exclusively guild groups. So it's really, really important to get into a good guild. Especially if you're starting from level 1, because there's almost nobody to group up with. And maybe you might have a guild mate that might want to roll a new tune and would level up with you. What if getting a guild is not an option? Or there's nobody in your guild that can help you out? You can pay for power leveling services. I don't necessarily care to do that. Or you can multi-box. So the thing is, EverQuest is not a very solo-friendly game, especially in these first couple of expansions. And the mercenary feature that gives you like an extra helper doesn't get unlocked until way later in the game's life cycle. So what do you do playing a very grouping intensive game where you can't find any help? You just roll another character. And honestly, that's how I look at multi-boxing, is that a lot of people, they need one extra character to help them do most content. So they'll just roll it themselves. They'll just roll another character. And I have actually found it to be quite useful. A lot of people don't like to main healers. A lot of people do not like to play healers. But they are necessary. So what a lot of people do is they'll main their fun class that they actually want to play, like a monk or something, or a DPS class. And then they'll carry a boxed healer. And it's been so helpful for every single group I've been a part of to have that, because with a tank and a healer, you pretty much got all that you need to build a group around that. I'm not that much against boxing. I'm not necessarily a fan of people who are doing 6 boxing or more, but I definitely can see the point and how helpful having 2 or 3 characters being played at a time. I've taken advantage of it multiple occasions. One other point the guy brought up is, okay, we just had an expansion drop. That is when typically a lot of people log on, when you have a lot of action occurring on a server. So yeah, Prophecy of Roe just dropped on Mangler, and there was a big surge in the people online. Why couldn't I find a group in 5 hours? Because when an expansion drops, especially one that doesn't have a level cap increase or any AAs that are significant, people are focusing on getting flagged for raids. They're focusing on getting keyed for the very end tier content. They're not focusing on EXPing. So if you're logging on to a server and expecting that you're going to find a group, especially on an expansion drop that has raiding content and you need to get keyed for it, it's not going to happen. Maybe you'll be able to find a group that'll help you get keyed for that, but they're not there to EXP at all. And that was a bit of a misconception I think this guy had. But yeah, hopefully this helps out. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.